Hi, this is Rosie from EdTech Teacher, and I wanted to talk about a new Chrome extension that I recently discovered. Needless to say, it's found on the Chrome Web Store under Extensions, and this one is called Use the Immersive Reader on Websites. It's an unofficial, so meaning that the Immersive Reader is a tool, part of the Microsoft Learning tools that are embedded in most of Microsoft's suite of apps. But if you're a Google user, I've yet to find anything that emulates the Immersive Reader and supports a user's experience like this Microsoft Learning tool, actually, until now. So this Chrome extension works much like the tool available in Microsoft Suite. As it says, and as I said at the beginning, it's not offered by Microsoft, but the extension allows the reader to personalize the reading experience on a website, much like the official version. So if you've not added a Chrome extension before, and you say you need to be in Google Chrome, I'm going to say add to Chrome. And it's going to say use the Immersive Reader. I'm going to say add the extension. And you can see here's a little icon right here. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to go to a website right here in Tween Tribune. And as I said, it will read text on the web, but it does more than that. First of all, it's free. It allows you to personalize text preferences such as font size, font style, text spacing, and background color to make content more readable. It also customizes the font spacing, decreasing the line length, which can address visual crowding of the text. So I'm going to show you some of those. So I need to select some text. So I'm just going to select this text and I'm going to right click on this. And you can see it says, help me read this. This is going to launch that Chrome extension that we're talking about in this video. So what it does is it takes that text and it brings it into a new window. And you can see that I've increased the line spacing and I've done all sorts of stuff with this. So I'm going to let you listen to the voice.
The AR app is on Apple devices. It is on Android devices. It places users on the surface of the moon. It lets them virtually escape their own surroundings.
So you can see the voice is actually quite nice. If I go here to voice settings, I can change the speed, and let's try the male voice. So it's generating here.
Surroundings. Users can moonwalk like Aldrin and Armstrong. They will see craters. The craters dot the landscape. They can jump.
So there's some nice cadence here with some stopping when it sees punctuation and moving on from there. So we've heard the text read out loud, both with the female voice and the male voice, but that's not all this fantastic extension does. So if I go up here and I go to the font or text preference, I can decrease the font size, I can increase, and I have line spacing on because I know for a lot of students it's better for them for visual tracking and visual fatigue to have more additional white space between lines. But I can show you if I take that off, it's more a traditional amount of white space in between each line. But I'm going to increase it. I can change the font. You know, we talk about serif and sans serif fonts and how it's better when reading text online to have a sans serif font. So we don't want those curly cues. That also helps with students' visual tracking and reading. I can also change the background color or themes. We know, again, with our dyslexic students that stark white background isn't always the best option. So here's a muted light yellow perhaps, or even a yellow. So I can change the background color to accommodate students. I also have some grammar options. So if I'm teaching parts of speech and I want to point out which parts are nouns or verbs, I can also syllabatize to help students decode. I can highlight nouns in this kind of purple color, verbs in red. So I can customize that way as well. So I'm going to actually turn this off. The other things that I can do is I can go to reading preferences, and we all know that our students have definite preferences as to how they read on the web. I really like this line focus. If you have students that are struggling with visual scanning and losing their place when they're reading, this line focus will only give them 1 or 2 lines at a time to help them read, and it will advance on its own. So I'm going to take that off. The other thing that it does is have a picture dictionary. So I'm going to go here and it will read it.
Swamps.
And if there's a picture available, it will give me a picture. So I guess there's not a picture of swamps. So let's try here for rivers. So there is a picture of rivers, and you're probably wondering why the Turkish word is coming up. Because the Immersive Reader extension will totally translate this document. So if I go back up here, and you can see that the translate language is Turkish, I can change this. So let's go to Spanish, Mexican. There are several kinds of Spanish dialects, and there are about 60 different languages in which you can translate, so your students hear and view the text in their native language. So I'm going to translate the document. So now this document, the original was in English, so I can go back and forth. And now if I want to hear the document read in Spanish, I can do
Los
that.
caimanes americanos viven en la naturaleza en el sureste de los Estados Unidos. Es más probable que los detectes en Florida y Luisiana, donde viven en ríos, lagos, estanques, pantanos, bayous y pantanos. Estos reptiles son
So now you can see very easily I've taken a piece of text that maybe is not accessible to your students because of decoding or visual issues, and now I can totally customize the user experience and also translate the document. I hope this video was useful and that you will try the Immersive Reader extension out with your students.